Question of the day is, are we coming out of the inflation woods yet or not? Joining us to have that conversation, the CEO of Reaper Financials, also serves in the Army and intelligence, Patrick Riley. Patrick, welcome back to the show. Always great to have you on.
All right, thanks, Chris.
So that's the question of the day, my friend. You see the numbers, you see the data. Everybody, I mean, the housing market softening, obviously with rates going up. Everyone I talk to says, hey, this bear market's going to get more bearish, not bullish. What say you on the inflation situation in our nation?
Yeah, so I have to agree that the worst is not here yet, and it's not over yet. The Fed's Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, did say that the core tenets of inflation are still rising, and I think that's a key indicator. But really, I come from the world of decentralized finance. So what I have to point out is how many uncertainties we still have in our economy and in the world right now that are going to make it very hard to recover. So when I say that, the effects of COVID, the effects of the war in Ukraine, those aren't done yet. A lot of people in this country are still in forbearance, meaning they're not paying their mortgages for many months, some people for over a year. And those mortgages at some point are going to come due. We're going to have people owing $100,000 just to get up to date on their mortgage. And realistically, we're going to see a rush of foreclosures coming onto the market at some point. We're also seeing the upcoming election, which is...
Wait, can you just pause for a moment? Because you just ran over these foreclosures. Like, hey, that's just, I mean, I've heard some experts out there as well say that it's going to get so bad that you're going to see banks having to start write off loans. I mean, just how, and again, this is not financial advice. We always need to make that clear, but you're making it sound pretty dire. How bad do you see the housing market get? And if so, where? Because I just don't see that happening.
It's hard to say if it's really dire or if it's a huge opportunity for some people, and it's going to be really rough for those who are on the losing end. So the actual supply of houses on the market has been reduced to around 500,000 houses on the market over the last year, where the normal supply is somewhere in the 1.5 to 2.5 million. So if a million homes come onto the market, that's something that we can handle. We can see that without significant decline in the price of houses, because we're already up 30 to 50% depending on the market over the last year. But that does mean that there's a lot of rocky road ahead as far as the stock market, as far as equity trading, as far as banking.
So we're going to get to so what do you do? Because I mean, there's a lot of people that obviously, banks included, sitting on cash, but you don't want to deploy it if you know that, hey, the S&P is going to go down another 20% or whatever. So again, not financial advice, just things that are looking at when you look at the metrics. One thing I do want to touch on, Patrick, is you and I spoke earlier today, and since you're in intelligence with the Army, there's a situation over in Ukraine that I think it's really important for people to know and to understand why it's important.
Yeah, so one of the things that's a current threat to the economy is the Russian nuclear plant, or should I say Ukrainian nuclear plant, currently controlled by Russia. And that's the Zaporizhia, I'm sure I'm butchering that name, nuclear plant that has 6 reactors. And it would be the largest nuclear disaster that was if this plant were to fail. And so the news coming out of Ukraine right now is that Russia has told their nuclear scientists to stop working that plant and abandon it starting tomorrow. So if they do that, it could potentially cascade into a collapse. And it's hard to say who that actually benefits, whether that's Russia, whether that's Ukraine, whether that's nobody at all. And this, for the record, is not something that came from Army intelligence. This is all open source. But the reality is, if there is a meltdown in the Ukraine, that's going to cut off grain production. It's going to cut off Ukraine's shipping grain through the Black Sea, and it's going to significantly increase food scarcity through the winter, which is a massive problem for all of Europe and for American economies.
Well, thus inflation, but I hate to say it this way because I don't want to see that happen in Ukraine, but it could potentially be good for North Dakota, Minnesota grain farmers. Yes.
It would increase demand, most likely. Absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about, you mentioned, so you've got these situations going on. The numbers look bleak. If you look at what's going on with the Fed's raising rates, the housing market, many people I talk to say, hey, what's going on with the equities market? Still, there's more bearish signals coming. Again, not financial advice, but so what do you do and how does decentralized finance fit into the picture?
So decentralized finance is you taking full control of your finances, your money. So right now you put your money in a bank, it's no longer yours. It's that bank's, and you may or may not be able to get it out. It is insured through the FDIC, but that doesn't mean that the bank actually has that money on hand to give to you at the time that you need it. There are banks right now starting up in Europe and multiple other countries. China right now has bank runs where basically you go to the bank, you try to draw out your money, and you just can't. They don't have anything to give you, and they turn you down. Or in the UK, you have to actually justify why you need your own money. So DeFi, decentralized finance, is a cryptocurrency wallet that you hold your keys, and you are the bank. You have full control of everything that's in your possession, everything that you own financially.
So it's sort of like if I have gold in my safe, but it's digital. Is that a fair
Exactly.
assessment?
That's absolutely fair.
So let's give you a chance here to talk about the Reaper. You can check out more at thereaper.io. It's Patrick's own decentralized finance token. What is it? Why should people find out more about it?
Yeah, so the Reaper is a token that we sell a certain amount every month, and with the proceeds generated, we're able to go out and reap other tokens, or we basically burn other tokens that our holders vote on. And then we also pay a passive income, and we have a working blockchain voting mechanism so that everyone can see it. It's all instantly auditable. It's great. It will be great in elections someday. But more importantly, what we're working on next with a company called Dakota Rings out of North Dakota is debt reaping. So what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to connect your wallet holding Reaper token to your personal debts, like your mortgage, like your student loans, your medical debts, your credit cards, whatever it may be, and you'll be able to vote against that. And when you vote against that, it means there'll be a debt payment towards your debts without you actually losing anything. You don't spend any Reaper coin to do it. And those debt payments continue as long as you hold Reaper token.
I've got a minute left. Again, you keep dropping these little like breadcrumbs. You just dropped Dakota Rings, North Dakota company. What is Dakota Rings? We're going to have to talk about that next time.
Yeah, definitely. Would love to talk about that next time and bring in a couple special people to talk to that as well.
But so I've got 45 seconds. What is it?
Dakota Rings is a software development firm out of North Dakota that is developing smart contracts for the XRP ledger, as well as NFT utilities and the debt reaping tool itself. Multiple solutions on the blockchain that are going to be world-changing solutions for everybody in this economy.
Wow, right here in North Dakota, software company. We'll have to talk more about that next time. Plus, you also, again, dropped another breadcrumb about using blockchain within the elections. I think many people's ears are like, wait, excuse me, what? So let's have that conversation soon as well, okay?
Okay, sounds good, Chris.
Thank you, Patrick Riley, brother of Sean Riley here, the Chief Information Officer for the great state of North Dakota, running his own decentralized finance token. If you want to find out more, which I would encourage you to do, go check out thereaper.io. Again, the Reaper, REAPER.io, or just email Patrick, 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 Patrick at thereaper.io.